Hello, everybody. Doing a quick little test here. Looks like we're live. And anyone in here, just say hey. Make Bear with me a second here. So this is obviously my first YouTube live in a really long time. Hey, M Zodic. Thank you, everyone. Oh, I see Pam here too, and Zeepaw and Amanda and Todd. Awesome. All right, we are rolling. I assume by your responses that my audio is good, my video is good. It's one of those things where I have to wonder because, like I was just saying, um, I haven't done a YouTube live in like 4 years, and the last time I did, awesome, thank you, Mzadek. The last time I did a YouTube live, I had my friend Matt with me, so he, if there was an issue, he would have just told me. It was a big thing, and this is a really a unique, fun, interesting thing to kind of come in here with this. Before I popped on, I saw there was like nearly 30 people here, and you know, I'm sure this is not the first YouTube live that anyone's ever seen, and I'm sure you've seen, bigger people where they've got thousands or tens of thousands of people watching at once. I don't view 30 people as anything other than a really big deal. Like there's 30 people plus right now who have taken time out of their day to come here for this and hopefully glean some value and trust me with their time. And I just want to say thank you so much for that. I want to try and make sure that today lives up to this in a unique but also like relaxing way. This is not going to be an over the top thing. In case anyone's wondering, I'm not selling anything today here either. Like this is really just all value. And there is an ulterior motive, though. And the ulterior motive to this is I've been having difficulty keeping up with emails. I've always wanted to be that author who actually replies to people. They email a question, I get back to them. I always wanted to be that person. And at some point, it's not sustainable. So I'm trying to think. Thank you, Priya. I'm trying to think of ways that are efficient. That how do I reach a bunch of people at once? Is there ways of answering the questions that I receive in a more efficient way? This YouTube live is one little test. I've got another concept in mind. I got a few things rolling around of does this work? Will this be efficient? Will this be a way to really reach people and give them value and almost substitute for the fact that I'm getting closer and closer to a point where I just can't individually answer emails even though I desperately want to. So that's my ulterior motive. My ulterior motive is does this get a good response? Does it get a lot of people? Does it get a lot of good feedback? Does it make a clear indicator for me that this is something that you want more of in the future? So with that in mind, obviously, again, I want to try and live up to the hype on this and make it worth your while. Um, and I've been playing with a new concept, and I guess I've informally introduced it already in my videos this week. You probably notice I'm engaging more with videos. The concept of manifesting on easy mode. Everything here that we do, everything that you do, and you know this, and if you're following me, it's meant to be easy. It's meant to be simple. By the way, if I don't respond to people, if I don't see your chat, apologies for that. I might see it, I might not. I don't even know if super chats are enabled or anything like that. So bear with me if I don't reply right away. But I love you guys. But yeah, so this concept of manifesting on easy mode. Everything is supposed to be simple. Nothing is supposed to be over the top. Even the methods that I plan on teaching today, I'm almost hoping that as you go through the steps and hear me describe them, you're like, "Oh, that's so basic, Andrew. Why did you make me go on a live for this?" And it's because the magic and the power is in the simplicity. The magic and the power is in the fact that it doesn't feel like a big deal. The magic and power is in this element of, oh, this is just me living life, doing the simplest of things, engaging with the universe in the most basic, easy, simple way, and things, magical things, amazing things coming out of that. And that's kind of where I'm going with this. And it's so funny because I've been playing with this manifest on easy mode for a few weeks now. And it was until this morning when I was composing my thoughts that I finally figured out the two key elements to manifesting on easy mode. That's what I'm teaching today, in addition to some methods for you. So, the two elements for manifesting on easy mode. The first one is you need a big why. You need a really big why. And the reason you need a big why is just you need that carrot on the stick that's pulling you there, that's just keeping you just engaged enough that it's worth your while to do this. I mean, obviously, the methods that you do, they have to be fun, but it also has to be worth it. I mean, is it money that you care about? Is it, or, love, relationships, better health? Is it a combination? Is it just a more fruitful, invigorating life? Like, what is this thing that's driving you? What is this thing that brought you to my book or brought you to my channel or brought you to any similar books, any similar channels, any concept close to the law of attraction? What brought you there? Whatever that thing is, it's got to be fueling you. And the example that I wanted to share with you today about this is kind of funny. I mean, I'm sure everyone, you see your memes as you're scrolling through social media. And I saw an interesting one, almost like on recurring mode. It wasn't the first time. And there was this nurse, and she was pranked by her boyfriend, where like everyone else is in on it, and it was really morbid. Like they wheeled him in as if he had been, deceased. He was no longer there, and there's like the security cam footage of showing this happen, like in the emergency room, where she pulls back the sheet and she sees him and she freaks out and she collapses, and I mean, you might have even seen this as I describe it. It's really interesting to watch. And just at that point where like her whole world has crumbled, he pops up, he jumps out of the bed, he surprises her. She gets really mad, so she starts hitting him and she's going after him, and he calms her down. Before he can do anything, he pulls out his engagement ring and he proposes. So like the funny thing about the meme was like how she went through all these different emotions in this span of like 20 seconds. And I'm always reading between the lines and I'm always making my interpretations, sometimes fair, sometimes not so fair. And the way, not to kind of dump on this guy, but the way I interpret this is this prank that he pulled on her where he proposed, it was kind of cruel, and it was also kind of his like get out of jail free card where he wanted to ensure that she would actually say yes to the proposal. And how did he do this? How did he ensure that she was going to say yes? Even though she was really mad at him and she did say yes, he ensured it by putting her through the visceral experience, the sudden horrible experience of what life without him would suddenly be like. So, like, imagine that no matter how mad she is, she just had this experience, this horrible sadness of like, oh my God, like, this is life without this person. And now he's proposing. It's like, how is she not going to say yes? Right. But the thing about this is what he tapped into was he was accessing her big why. He wanted to ensure that she had this why that was just big enough, that was huge enough, that would have been an unmistakable yes. He just didn't want to risk it. And then I'm guessing also it's his personality. But the reason that I'm sharing this example with you is because not that yours has to be that dramatic, but this is a crystal clear example of a massive why. You've got to have that kind of thing for what you're doing. What's this thing where you could visceral feel like, oh my God, life without this is just not what I signed up for. But life with this, yeah, that's worth getting up every day. That's worth 5 simple minutes every single day, thinking about what I have or what I want or both, and doing these methods and enjoying it and going on that journey. That's what it means to have that massive why. That's what this is all about. So that's the big why. That's element number one. The other element, besides a big why for manifesting on easy mode, is you need an easy how. And an easy how is what I've been kind of like working on like providing you with since 2019 when I published this guy over here. The easy how, the easy way by which you can engage with the universe. You can engage in this process. You can engage with yourself towards inviting the things that you want the most. And I know very recently, this week, and even today in particular, I'm throwing a lot more emails your way. I'm giving you a lot more videos. I'm not sure. Feel free to kind of comment. Like, did anyone see this morning's video where I was talking about, calculating the power of your thought? And I was using a term like manifestational math. Like, if you saw that, and I'm not sure how live the feed is, like, either say yes or no. But if you saw that video, like, cool, I see a yes. Like, let me know if you saw that video. And Allison, I'll give you a little recap, so hopefully it won't be too boring. But um, oh, awesome, a few people and a few know. So if you haven't seen the email, what I really wanted to do was I wanted to illustrate the power of positive thought in a mathematical way, because it's very easy for me to go, oh guys, just feel good for a few minutes a day. I promise it'll work. I promise that's what you're supposed to do. It'll work out. Just trust me. Now, I mean, I do what I can to earn that trust. I do what I can to make sure that I live up to it, but it's still, it's an ask. It's asking you to trust me. It's also asking you to kind of trust yourself and trust the universe and trust the process, especially when things aren't going fast enough. So I said, okay, what if I could demonstrate this mathematically? And I was remembering a scenario, and I mean, I'm thank you for all the compliments to say like I put this very simply and I put this very usefully. The reason that I put this stuff, I hope in a way that's really works for you, is because I read so much and I study so much and I go so deep into this topic to see the different perspectives, see where the contradictions are, but also see where the benefits are. And in that really long-winded, never-ending process, I've come upon all these studies where they'll hook sensors up to people's minds and they will measure their brain waves. They will measure the readings when they're having a positive thought or emotion or a negative thought or emotion. And like I said in the video, I've never been able to conclusively find like what's the number? How much do positive thoughts relate to negative ones in terms of power and impact? And the best I can determine all these different results, some people are saying hundreds of times, some people are saying thousands of times. I'm like, you know what? Okay, I could work with that. It's not an exact number, but it's hundreds of times or thousands of times. How does the math work if we're doing that? And this is for those that didn't see the video. This is where I said, okay, let's be conservative here. If they're saying hundreds of thousands of times, I'll just like, okay, let's say it's 300 times. Let's say that a positive thought or a positive emotion is 300 times as powerful as a negative thought or emotion. It's kind of fair to say based on those studies. Okay, so we run the numbers on this. And I said, okay, if this is true and one thought has a positive thought has like 300 times the power of a negative thought, I wanted to put this in kind of like a conceptual model that you could follow. So I said, okay, envision two runners. We've got a good runner who is fueled by your positive thoughts, and your positive thoughts are actually giving the steps that this runner's using to attract the good to you. But there's also a bad runner who's taking fuel from your negative thoughts, and he's running to bring all the bad stuff to you, the things that you don't want. And every step that the bad guy takes, the good guy takes 300 steps. Like every negative thought will give one step to the bad runner, the runner you don't want. Whereas every positive thought will be fuel for the good runner. It's going to get 300 steps, like 300 to one, right? So I said, okay, even though people think probably 45 thoughts per minute, let's just say 60 thoughts per minute. So it's one thought per second so that the math is easy. When I ran those numbers, and I kinda, like, pulled this in front of me, I'm pulling it up again. I'm pulling up the random stuff, but it basically came down to the fact that if you think positively for 5 minutes, just 5 minutes, you're giving the good runner, you're giving him 90,000 steps ahead of the bad runner. 90,000 steps. And those steps equating to time, that's like 90,000 seconds or 1,500 minutes or 25 hours, which is my really long-winded way of saying, based on a metric, based on a power of 300 to 1, if you spend 5 minutes a day feeling positive emotions, thinking positive thoughts, it's virtually impossible for you to offset that momentum by thinking negatively for the rest of the day because it'll take 25 hours. It takes more time than you have available in the day thinking negatively to just offset those 5 minutes. And after that, I said, okay, maybe 300 is too generous. Let's go down to 100. And if it's 100 times, you're going to have to think negatively with no breaks for 8.3 hours. Again, that's a lot of time just thinking bad about yourself, thinking bad about the world, thinking bad about your situation. And then it gets really dramatic when you go up because, again, they said hundreds of thousands of times, right? Or hundreds to thousands. At 500x the power here, you're going to have to think negatively for 41.5 hours, nearly 2 days, in order to offset the momentum of just 5 minutes. At 1,000x, you've got to think bad for 83 hours straight. That's 3.5 days or almost 3.5 days. And at 2,000x, and I didn't even go above 2,000, who knows where this goes, you got to think negatively for 166 hours. That's almost a week. Imagine sitting for almost a week, just sitting there, just stewing, just thinking negatively, thinking horribly, like all these things, having to do that for a full week just to offset the vibrational momentum in the right direction that you gave yourself with only 5 minutes on one day of feeling good. These are the numbers here. And I see Kelly, like even if it's 3 to 1, it's amazing, right? Like no matter what. And thank you, by the way, Kelly, for bringing this up, because I'm giving these numbers, I'm giving these examples based on these metrics. I think anyone can reasonably agree, without the science and without the sensors, positive thoughts are in some way, shape, or form more powerful, more impactful than negative ones. You could kind of feel it. You feel your chest buzz when you're feeling good versus feeling bad. I mean, there is a magnetic power to that. So this goes back to manifesting on easy mode, right? You need your big why and you need your easy how. Your easy how is figuring out a method or more methods that you just enjoy. And it doesn't have to be this, it doesn't have to be this big deal. It doesn't have to be this big challenge. And we convince ourselves, we kind of fall into the trap of believing that it's a big deal, or believing that's a big challenge, or believing that's overwhelming, because we're basing it on prior experience. And some people might say, Andrew, it's interesting. You're saying just 5 minutes a day and it can account for so much. Why isn't my life even better right now? And part of that is momentum. Part of it's also perception. Like, I mean, I want you to think about this. Right now, you're breathing. You have air in your lungs. Now, that might not seem like a big deal, but if suddenly it went away, you would understand how big a deal that really is. Right now, you have food on the table. Right now, you have a roof over your head. Right now, you have this device that you're watching this on that does amazing things for you. Like, think of all the access you have to all the elements of your life and the world through this device that you're watching this on. So, even in spite of all the things that you don't like, because like no one's got a perfect life, there is so much abundance there. There is so much magic. There's so much there. And again, it's funny how it works when you acknowledge that, when you lean in that direction, that's where it grows. And that's where the stuff that you don't like, it shrinks and it fades into obscurity. That was another point that I kind of made on the video this morning that I posted, where, if these are runners, that's why I conceptualize this way. When you're running a race and you see the other guy like way ahead of you, it is so it takes you out of it. You lose your steam, you lose your momentum, you lose your willingness to engage in the race. And imagine when you give yourself this momentum and this positivity, it's leaving the negativity like this little recourse to kind of like catch up with it. And that's the way you want to think about this. Um, so that was the big thing I wanted to kind of like cover about that. I also want to, like, with that in mind, like I said, I'm going to be teaching a couple of new methods today. I did want to revisit a method that you might be familiar with from Just Feel Good. I finally named it. I finally named this method, and this live is my introduction to the method. And for those that didn't read Just Feel Good, or don't know what this is, people ask me like, Andrew, what's the best manifesting method? And the answer to what the best manifesting method is, it's the one for you personally that you enjoy enough and that is easy enough and works in with your lifestyle and your schedule, that all the things are right so that you can engage with it on a daily, consistent basis. That's the best one. So when I say the one that I do every day, it doesn't make it the best one. It makes it the best for me. And it might be the best for you. But the best one, for me, or the one that I consistently do every single day, even though I do a bunch of them, I still have fun with them. The one I do every day is I pull out my phone, this guy right here, and I pull up my voice memo app and I leave a recorded message. I talk about all the things I'm grateful for. Maybe I'll do a demo on that today. We'll see. Um, I leave a recorded message of all the things I'm grateful for. I say it all in the present tense. Sometimes I talk about things in the future. Sometimes I don't. Everything's a free for all. It's all on how I feel. But that message, it might be 1 minute, it might be 5 minutes. I don't assign a specific requirement to it. But when that message is done, I text it over to my friend across the country, and he does the same thing for me. And it's really cool because, there's an accountability there. Like none of this should ever feel like a chore. Like I've said before, none of it should feel like an obligation. But there's a there's a magic to having a friend, like knowing your friends kind of counting on you for this, and like, okay, like of course I want to come through for them. So I'm going to take my phone out and record for just 60 seconds. It keeps me on point. It ensures that I do this every single day. But also it's really cool because sometimes I send my message to him first. Sometimes he sends his to me first. So in the case where he sends his message first, that inspires me. Like I hear his message before I even send mine to him. And it's really cool because we're always sharing good news with each other. We've been doing this since 2018. So he's like seen the book sell over 150,000 copies and selling as we engage in this process, which it's been a lot of fun. But it's just this really cool thing. And so because this is basically a modified gratitude blitz with kind of spoken scripting, thrown in there, and there's a little stacking method and a little time lapse, like all these little elements. It's a very dynamic yet very simple and easy method. I named it the buddy blitz method. It's because, you don't have to do it with a buddy, but it works so great with a partner. So that's what this is. This is the buddy blitz method. And I it's so funny. It's almost hazy, like how me and my friend kind of like came to this conclusion of doing it, because I remember we were trying a couple of different things and we were just having trouble staying consistent and we didn't want to keep dropping the ball. And I think I'm going to take credit. I think I'm the one that suggested this specific way of doing it, but he shifted something about it. I forgot what he shifted about it that made it this thing. But I digress. That's the buddy blitz method. So of all the methods that you have for me and all the stuff that you have on the YouTube channel and you have in the books, if nothing is clicking yet, or you just maybe it's been clicking, but you haven't been at it in a while and you want a good reason or a good excuse to re-engage, just do the buddy blitz method. And PS, I shouldn't say this yet. I shouldn't say it too soon because I don't know yet if it's going to be a thing, but I'm kind of leaning it that it's going to be a thing. I am working on a solution right now where each of you will be each other's buddy. I'm going to try to engage in and create a scenario, create a situation, create an opportunity for you where if you don't have someone in your life who can do this with you, you're going to have each other. And hopefully now that I said it publicly, this is live, I can't take it back, right? Hopefully, I can follow through on that. But that's always been a thing because I remember like in interviews, whenever I talk about this method, which is so powerful and so dynamic, I always have to acknowledge that like if you don't have somebody in your life that you're doing this with, it's not as fun and it doesn't keep you as I mean, it's a good method. It's a lot of fun, but like people feel silly. They feel silly if they pull out their phone and they just start talking out loud, knowing that they're not gonna actually gonna send it to somebody. So getting people past that, that's always a thing. But that might be. Is he saying Buddy Blitz? Buddy Blitz. So Andrew, you're asking, and I'm sorry. By the way, Andrew, I apologize. I talk so fast because there's so much going on in my brain. I like have to race to catch up. But it's Buddy Blitz because the method that it's referencing from my book is the gratitude blitz, BLITZ. So that's what that's about. So yeah, like I was saying, this like the thing about this is people feel silly just like doing this on their own. So and people have friends, they have people that they know about the law of attraction, but maybe they're not as accountable for this. Or they are accountable people, but they don't care about the law of attraction. For some reason, it's really difficult to find someone in your life that does this. So anyway, I'm working on that solution. I hope I can live up to it. I hope that the way it plays out will be like a really wonderful opportunity. But don't wait until I have this thing ready for you. Like start the buddy blitz right now. Don't worry about sending it to somebody. Or, do little pocket ones where you just like make a message, not even gratitude for your life. Like just pull out your phone and leave gratitude for someone you know. Like, hey, I know this is a really random message. I'm healthy, everything's okay, but I just want to tell you how much you mean to me in my life. And here are the reasons why I'm so happy to have you as my friend or have you as my brother or sister or whatever it might be. And just tell them all the things you love about them. Because even though it's not about you, that'll feel good. This is all about like feeling good while thinking about what you have or what you want or both. And that actually segues me into the next thing that I wanted to cover on this live. Again, for those that weren't here when the live started, part of the reason that I'm doing this is I'm trying to figure out a more efficient, better way of connecting with people and answering questions and just being of value and service when there's only one of me to go around. So I'm trying to think like, how do I answer questions? So I had a couple of emails actually today, a couple of questions. I always do. I said, why don't I use this for the YouTube live? I'm going to read Hans his question, and hopefully this will add a little insight to some things. So Hans, he used to write to me all the time, not so much recently. So that's he's on his track, he's doing his thing. So Hans wrote, "Hey Andrew, how's it going? Your recent videos are awesome. Thank you very much, Hans." He wrote, "Quick question: feeling good while thinking about what you have or what you want or both?" That's super clear and easy. Some people can feel good without a trigger. I learned to do so a long time ago. So this is what I'm wondering. Are the thoughts necessary or are they simply triggers to get the feeling good part? In other words, if you just feel good without thinking about anything, would that work? Or are the thoughts an essential element? I find it much easier to just feel good without using thoughts. So if the thoughts aren't necessary and it's truly just about feeling good, that would be very convenient for me. Otherwise, it's still easy enough, but the simpler the better, as you call it, manifesting on easy mode. And then you talk about being on the live streams, but that was his question. So, Hans, thank you for your question. You don't need the thoughts. The thing about the thoughts is they are a facilitating element for people that need it. They are they're just like a really convenient leveraging point, but it really is, like I titled this book, it's just about just feeling good because the universe knows what you want. And over the course of any kind of time in your life, you're going to think about the things that you want. You don't need to think a positive thought in order to manifest. If you're feeling good, that stuff's going to happen automatically. Now, most people, myself included, intentionally use thoughts, leveraging thoughts, because to me, nothing is easier for feeling good than for choosing some kind of thought that leverages my mind in that direction. Again, Ozzy Paul, thank you so much for that. Okay, I haven't seen the whole chat, so that might be my first super chat ever. So you might have just made history. I really appreciate that. Um, so it's one of those things where I use thoughts, I leverage them because as you can probably tell by the way I speak and how I interact, there's so much going on, it helps me. But anyone that can, take a breath, go get a massage, go have a cup of coffee out on your porch. We're in autumn here, so depending on where you are, the weather's going to get perfect for that kind of thing. Have a cup of cocoa, sit, breathe, relax, listen to music that really that just connects with you. That's all that matters. All that matters is that you just feel good. And if the thoughts help you, use them. If they distract you, don't require them. And that's another big thing of like the thing that I always want to impart for people. Again, this is actually one of the reasons why I wrote the last Law of Attraction book you'll ever need to read. I don't fault any other authors. It's very easy for me to have a judgment of other authors and sit on my high horse. I'm nobody to do that. I do think though, like if you read enough books on any topic, there's going to be unintentional, apparent contradictions, even if they're not really contradictions. And things are going to be said in a certain way or interpreted a certain way where you assume that, like, oh, this is the way something has to be done. So people assume because they hear the power of positive thinking, good thoughts. People assume it has to be thoughts. No, it doesn't have to be thoughts. It can be. It's a huge asset, not required. And that's like the really big piece of this that I wanted to make sure to impart on you before moving on into this. And you can probably see my arm moving up. I have all these notes. I wanted to make sure that I wanted to keep my brain on track for the things that I covered for you. So I put everything in a bit of an order. And before moving on, and don't worry, I do have some methods to teach you. I had one more question come in this morning, and it seemed really good. A good way to contribute on this live call for you. So it says, this is from Aditi. I hope I'm pronouncing your name correctly. It says, "Hey Andrew, you've contributed a lot through your books to the kind of life I'm living right now. Thank you very much. Whenever someone does something bad or unfair to me, or says something rude to me, I get very disturbed. I feel hurt, but I want to feel peace even in that moment because I love myself a lot. Andrew, do you have any practical tips on how to respond wisely in such moments and continue to maintain a higher frequency for manifestation? Also, how to deal with such people? Please share, even if you think you're not perfect in this, because I really want to know because of the situations I face at home and at work. Thank you so much." Okay, interesting question and really important. Thank you, Purple Palm. I appreciate that. It's really important because like what she conveyed is she's dealing with this at home and at work. So there's no escape. So I want to see if I could provide some kind of reasonable solution, some kind of answer to this. But it's also, before I go into that, I guess I got to give the valid qualifier that this isn't necessarily just a law of attraction question or even necessarily just a law of attraction answer. So I'm always hesitant in that way because I'm not a life coach and I don't try to pull people in that direction or act like I'm some sage guru. So I want to like kind of put that out there before I give my perspective on this. And of course, because this is, I'm a law of attraction author and stat content, let's give this the law of attraction aspect first, and then I'll try to do a little extra. So obviously this is about energy. This is about not that you're intending to attract it, but it's coming into your way right now. If I were to make an assumption, and then probably maybe an unfair assumption, but it's all I've got, I would imagine that you are unintentionally carrying yourself in a way where people are responding, and that doesn't make it right, by the way. It doesn't make it okay for them to respond. Thank you, S. Kelly. It doesn't make it okay for people to treat you that way. But and I also I'm very big on saying like this isn't your fault. But there's a difference between fault and responsibility. When things happen to us that are bad, like is it our fault? I don't want to say so, but everything is your responsibility in the sense that notice the word, it's responsibility, i.e., ability to respond, which of course you know because you were asking me, what do I do about this? From a law of attraction energetic standpoint, I'm hesitant to go down this road, but it's like, how are you being in the world? Meaning, when you carry, like, if someone says something to you and they're disrespectful in a certain way, yeah, my perspective here, it's almost got to be beneath you. Like, it's going to be annoying. Like, just because something is beneath you doesn't mean it's not going to annoy you. But I think you've got to get yourself to this point. Not that the person is beneath you, but that kind of behavior, that kind of attitude is beneath you. Kind of like, um, if you walk down the street and you see like this pile of garbage, um, you're not gonna and you've got all these nice clothes on. You're not gonna go and like start picking up the garbage and get your clothes dirty. Like that's beneath you. The trash still smells. You still don't like the trash. Like you're still having a visceral response to it, but you're walking past it. And I know that's easier said than done. You're dealing with this at work and home, and Andrew's saying just walk past it. I mean, energetically start moving yourself in this direction. You're like, this isn't an overnight sudden thing. It could be, but let's not call it that it is. This isn't some overnight thing where all of a sudden it's going to stop, but it's more of a thing like your acknowledgement of it, like you're giving value to it. You're assigning value. You're assigning validation to this disrespect. And that's where we want to break the cycle. That's where you want to break the chain, like energetically and vibrationally. So when you have that attitude of like, yeah, thanks. I don't appreciate that, but it's like literally beneath me. And if that like you could even say that like in your mind, like this behavior is beneath me. Like that's the attitude, that's the kind of thing. And you could also go with like discount trigger method from my book to reference that. Discount trigger is when something happens in your life that you don't like. You've already like pre-planned that you are going to um you're gonna choose to intentionally think of something good so that these triggers, these negative things are actually becoming triggers that force you to think of something positive that forces you to attract better into your life. Meaning the next time someone shows you like disrespect, you're gonna remember, oh, I'm gonna think back to this really happy moment in my life, or I'm gonna think back to an achievement of mine or something that I'm proud about myself, reinforcing the value that I understand that I have. So again, you can choose to like, this is beneath me. You have that energy and it'll evolve over time. Or like, discount trigger method. When something happens that bothers you, um, use it as like, oh, this is my trigger, this is my indicator. And pre-plan what you're gonna do. Like write a list of things that you're gonna think about or you're gonna consider or you're gonna focus on when that thing happens. And it's like it's a really funny thing. Like, then it's like, yeah, keep disrespecting me. Like, I don't care. Like every time you disrespect me, it's giving me an excuse to fuel the good in my life that's coming my way. So that's that piece. Now, putting that to aside, I don't know the dynamic between you and these people, but it's all in how you. Oh, congrats, Pam. It's all in how you respond to people. This is a non-law of attraction question, but I remember, and I'm not going to take credit for this. I saw another video where someone said this. They were talking about when someone disrespects you, you kind of like first you don't say anything, you just look at them. Like like there's no response. Like what they said wasn't even worth a response. It was again, it's beneath you, right? And then there's an escalation of that where someone like, disrespects you and you just look at them and you're like, "Are you okay?" And that's the energy. When you're like, "Are you okay?" Like you're not like, "Oh, you hurt my feelings," because that's what they want. Or, "Oh, that really hurt me." That's what they want. When you're like when you're asking, "Are you okay?" It's kind of like shining putting the mirror back on them where it's like, ugh, maybe the way I'm treating her right now, I'm not really being the best human being. So That's my best advice. I'm hoping that's helpful. I'm hoping it's useful, especially the law of attraction part, since that's my forte. But those are the two methods. Okay. I'm sorry, the two responses my brain was talking about. Speaking of that, method. Let's talk about new methods. Remember that at the beginning of this live, I was talking about like this should be simple. Manifesting on easy mode. It should be simple. It should also be hopefully fun, engaging. So I'm almost hoping that what I'm about to share with you, it doesn't really overwhelm you or overimpress you, but we'll see. What I want to ask guys right now is if you could do me a favor, drop in your chat. This is going to be a really weird question, but we go through on the method, you'll understand why I've asked it. If you could paint a color or just choose a color that your vibration currently has, what is that color? And it's not a trick question. It's not like what's like just what comes to mind. Like throw in the comments, like what pops in. I see purple, yellow, purple, purple. Interesting. Orange. Like what is anyone hasn't done it yet? Blue, cool. What is the thing? Like, what's that color? What's the color of your vibration? Gold. I like that one. We're going in a direction that I like on that one. Awesome. Okay. The method that I'm teaching you today, and thank you by the way for your replies here. The method I'm teaching you, it's kind of like the paint can theory method. And I was on an interview earlier this year, and it published in August. I don't even remember when the interview was. It's been such a blur. And it just came to me. I was answering a question. I talked about paint can theory, where I was talking about like how when there's something going on in your life or it's going in a certain direction, like your life is that color of paint, but you can paint over that. Like if you've got like this splatter of like of red paint and you've got purple that you want there instead. Well, actually, let's do a better one. You've got red paint and you want it to be green instead. When you pour green paint on red paint, you're gonna get purple. It's like you didn't change it to green. You just altered it, but it's not green yet, right? But what if it dries a little bit, and you pour some on? Well, there's still enough of the red in there. It's still going to be purple. Okay. What if you pour another can on? What if you keep pouring on all this green paint until that's all you see? All you see is green. This is the concept of the paint can theory method, where you're going to in recognition of the assumption that the color that you've chosen or the color that you think your vibration currently is, it's not to your liking. If it is to your liking, you could reinforce it, or maybe you want another more abundant color that you want to put in there. But you're like literally going to close your eyes and you're going to take a couple of calm deep breaths and you're going to see your vibrational frequency. You're going to see the waves in front of you that represent you, and you're going to see it in that color. It's brown or it's turquoise or it's red or it's fuchsia. I'm like reading the list right here. It might be. And what you're going to do is you're going to think, okay, whatever that color is, what now is the color that represents abundance, the color that represents vitality, the color that represents everything you've ever wanted, the color that represents fulfillment, the color that represents everything that you've ever wanted. Maybe it's green because you want more money. Maybe it's green because, lush forests, plants, life. Green is the color of life also. Maybe it's white because it's bright. Maybe it's gold, whatever it might be. What you're basically doing is you're going to close your eyes and you're going to visualize that paint, that color of your wave, and you're going to paint over that wave with the color that you want. You're going to paint over it with the more abundant color until it's just like you're going to see the color like washing more and more continually for as long as it takes until that new wave, that new vibration that's basically representing you, that's your vibration of what you're attracting, it's that new vibrant color. And as that happens, as you see this new color, I want you to visualize and pull that wave, that new colored wave, into your body, into your solar plexus, into your element. And imagine that color just exploding out in bright, vibrant light, in a bright, vibrant version of that color, reaching out and grabbing everything you want from outside of you, from the universe, and just pulling it in. This could be a 1-minute process. This could be a 5-minute process. This could be whatever you want to be. There's no rush to this. Some people, they see the color turn just like that. Some people it takes a little while. Some people really want to bask in it. But that is the paint can theory color method. Paint can theory method. You can see I've just named it. So I'm having trouble with it. This, if you're not doing the buddy blitz, And by the way, that other person asked about the buddy bliss method. I mean, it's also bliss too, so I guess that's a pretty good name for it also. I might have to leverage it and do it in that direction. But I really, I want you guys to utilize that, to think. You've got the paint can theory method, you've got the buddy blitz method, which I kind of reintroduced for you. I really want you to kind of think about like which one works for you there. With that said, I said at least one or two methods that I was going to share with you today. So whenever I do that, I always go on the top end, right? So another method that I would really like to show you here or teach you here, um, I call this the reality TV star method, and it's kind of dated in the sense that you know. Oh, thank you, Kay. It's dated in the sense that like reality TV used to be like a much bigger thing, so it might really had to resonate. But this came to me, so like let me share it. So, real quick before I go there, Kay said, totally off topic, but how do you totally detach from an outcome when you think about it all the time? I know it's already mine. Thanks. Love seeing you. Kay, you don't have to super chat in order to ask, but could you give me a little bit more on that? Can you chat a little bit more? And by the way, I'm going to teach the method, but I'm just want to, I saw the super chat here and I noticed it. I'm following the energy. How do you totally detach from an outcome when you think about it all the time? So, while you're doing that, I mean, I might have an answer for you. Um, we'll use an I'll give an example until I get one from you. Getting a new house, right? The way I detach, like, let's say I want to manifest a brand new house, and I don't want to be like overly invest. If I'm hopefully interpreting your question right, I don't want to be overly lackful or overly invested or stuck on this kind of thing. It's this kind of thing where I'm going to remind myself I have no idea how the universe is going to bring me this. I have no idea how my part, like my participation in this, like I have no idea what my part is in this. What am I supposed to do? Like, where's my piece of this? And you know what? That is brilliant. I'm so happy I don't know how the universe is going to do this. I'm so happy that I don't know yet what I'm supposed to do, because since I don't know either of these things, I don't have to worry about it. It's actually way out of my control. It's so far out of my control that not only do I not have to worry about it, I can't worry about it. There's nothing I can do. So seeing as how there is nothing that I can do about this kind of thing, okay, I acknowledge that it's on the way. I'm going to continue being grateful for everything else in the meantime. And I'm going to give myself permission for a few minutes a day to think about this thing and really bask in the gratitude and bask of whatever this thing is, and invite it in that way, but also remind myself, like, listen, I don't know how this is going to happen. This is good. That means there's really space for magic here. That means there's really space for anything to come about. Okay, I'm hoping that that answered and addressed your question. And by the way, I'm hoping I didn't miss any other super chats asking me questions. If you super chatted me and you asked me a question and I didn't see it and I didn't respond, please email me. I want to make sure, email me that question. I want to make sure that whatever you paid me to answer, that I attended to that for you. With that said, getting back to the reality TV method. Okay, reality TV star method. The perspective that I want you to take on this is I want you to imagine that you're the star of your own show. Um, Thank you, Zeepaw. You're I want you to imagine you are the star of your own reality TV show. This is important. All the cameras are on you. It's being broadcast to millions of people. The producers are there. The editors are there. Who knows? Everyone's in the mix. Everyone sees what you're doing. Everyone sees how you're being and how you're living. If somebody random watched you and watched your reality show for a week, would they believe that you are serious about manifesting what you want? Would they see any level of discipline, any level of effort, any level of consistency? Would they see you engaging with any kind of method for just 5 minutes that day in the midst of all the drama that the producers were going to create, in the midst of all the fun little projects and all the things they're going to do for ratings? Would they see at any point in that episode you taking 5 minutes out to envision what you want, to feel good while thinking about what you have or want or both, to taking inspired action, as long as it's inspired and not out of lack? Or would they see you distracted, procrastinating, wasting time, complaining, basking in the like reveling in the negativity, reveling in and telling people why you don't have what you want? How, what are they going to see? Visualize yourself as if you are that reality show. Visualize yourself right now as if the camera is on you and the signal is being broadcast all over the internet, all over the world, just the way I'm on live right now. Everyone's seeing me right now. In fact, if reality TV is a little dated, we'll call it the YouTube live star method, right? Or YouTube live method. Someone's watching you all day on your live. Do they see you doing any part, engaging in any way? And as you do that, as you wonder, have people seen this? That's your reminder to quickly shift gears and choose any other manifesting method. This is kind of like a method into a method. It's like a meta method where you think about this and you make that your excuse to do the buddy blitz, or you do the paint can theory, or you do anything else. That's how you want to visualize. That's how you want to see yourself in all this. Okay. So I'm just quickly looking at some things here, scanning. Quick apologies again, guys, if I'm not seeing all of your things. A quick reminder, obviously, I'm going to be leaving this up as a replay, and I'll be sure to watch myself and critique myself for how fast I speak. Um, well, we've got that going on. And I got to say, like, that is the main stuff that I was going to cover for today. So I'm kind of going a little off the cuff here, and we're almost done here. Um, I want to remind you, I'm doing a live tomorrow and it's going to be different. Like, I'm going to teach different methods. Like, again, this isn't like a sales presentation. I'm not pitching you on something right now. I'm not like, I just wanted to connect with you. I just wanted to do these lives. I want to see how this feels for me. I want to see if I felt like I was giving value. I wanted to connect with people. So tomorrow I'm going to be doing another live, which will also be on replay. So if you said, oh, well, I went to this one, I don't have to go tomorrow's, check out tomorrow also. And hopefully it'll be just as good, or maybe even surpass it. Also, I want to remind you, for people that, yes, Jay started. Well, this live stream, it's going to be saved, so don't worry. You'll be able to watch this video as many times as you want. Um, I'm putting a lot more videos out. I think I put out a video every single day this week. Like, I'm going to try to do a Monday through Friday schedule. I've been doing Manifest Mondays. Like, I've got a Manifest Monday idea coming up. It might be one of these methods. We'll see. But again, I'm trying to be really intentional about this, and this isn't the only thing I'm trying. There's another, again, an idea in the back of my mind that we'll see where that goes. But that's it. In any case, I'm rambling at this point. I'm going to close out by just saying thank you, everyone, for being here. Thank you so much for taking time. I hope I got to everyone. Again, like right now, I'm in this mode of trying to like answer questions. If you asked a question on the chat and I didn't see it, email me. You've got my email, and it's, it's on the YouTube channel. Like, email me and say, Andrew, I asked this and you didn't answer it. I will answer it for you. And just know that I really care about you guys. I'm really in your corner. I really hope that the methods and the books and everything are continuing to serve you. I know I've been away from YouTube for a little while. This content never gets old, in the sense that, like, the law of attraction is what it is. Sometimes we go for the new thing, or like we need novelty. We need like a fresh thing. So I guess me being here adds a little novelty. But like, if I stopped today and I went away for 10 years, this, what I've offered you here, should stand up in terms of what it can do to serve you, what it can do to help you manifest and attract what you want into your life. Never let this get stale. Keep doing different methods if you need to, or keep trying different ways, keep engaging in different ways. Don't let this get stale for yourself. Let this be your lifestyle. Make manifesting and make feeling good a lifestyle for yourself. And I think that's a perfect note to leave things on. So thank you guys again. Hopefully I'll see you tomorrow. And again, replay will be up. So I appreciate you. More on the way.